live.
Yes, we're live.
We're live. So, yes, we're working on a Porche Cayenne, an 04. Probably same type of disassembly you would do for up to an 08 or 09. I could be wrong. Don't know too much about these. There's really nothing on taking engines out that I've seen online, so just kind of winged it. But got all your connectors, your alternator, and starter connections, and you gotta make sure you get them all off, otherwise you'll damage it pulling this out. But I took the whole subframe with the transmission, all one unit, out of here, and took the front suspension apart, which connects all of this. So you had to take the ball joints, the uppers, and the stabilizer links have to come out. Your shock mount has to come out in order to drop the subframe. And then you have a series of bolts, big bolts here that hold the main subframe in. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on each side. And then you got a couple of bolts that are there, the smaller ones that hold the exhaust onto the actual body. Then you got your drive shaft and your exhaust. There's just band clamps that hold the exhaust back there. So that was actually really nice to get those apart. You didn't have to cut anything. Just get those band clamps loose, and the exhaust literally is just butted up against itself as if you cut it. So it's all factory though. So actually really a good design. But yeah, the steering rack all comes with it. Everything comes with this when you drop it. And then you got to make sure you get all your lines off. It's all a mess right now. This is just my setup that I have to work with. But all the lines and stuff like that you have, it's miscellaneous. You got to make sure you put back when you put her back together. So I still have all these coolant lines and transmission lines to run through this. But I'm pretty much going to call it a day today because I'm running out of time. But
This is a 2008?
No, 2004.
Oh, 2004.
Yeah, this is a 2004 Porche Cayenne with the 4.5 liter V8. It's got the 4.5 liter V8 non-turbo, and you gotta make sure you get all the cooling lines that run to up under the hood there. They run all over. Get them all loose. But I bought this engine from the salvage yard. Luckily found one. They're not that easy to find. They're kind of scarce a little bit in our area, but managed to get lucky on this one, and it wasn't all that expensive. But luckily we found it, and hopefully it's in good shape. I really hope when I start it that it doesn't tick or knock. It looks like it's been well maintained, that I can tell from looking in the cylinders, somewhat pulling plugs. So yeah, that's pretty much that. And this is a common failure on your exotic cars, like your German cars, Audis, Volkswagen, and Porsche. This is technically a Volkswagen. Volkswagen designs the drivetrain, but this is the carrier bearing. This one was said to be replaced already when I bought it from the owners, and this flex disc I think was too. It's a rubber flex disc. They like to crack. You gotta inspect them for cracks. This one looks good, so you'll get vibrations going down the road. It's a very common thing when they start to fail and get loose. You'll have a driveline vibration or knock. So you gotta be wary of that. Otherwise, they're a pretty nice car. They stay in good shape because every bolt's waxed from the factory so they don't rust. And then they have factory undercoating, which protects them from the salt and the harsh elements. So the body itself is good. It's got some rust here and there, but these parts are replaceable. The subframe's in good shape, so should last a long time once I get this together. So yeah, Just got a little bit of work to do on the outside of this before we actually get to the point where we're bolting it back in, because I got to get all the lines on. They I think accidentally broke this crossover piece back here, which I have from the other engine. They broke this piece right here. So since they broke that, I can't use it. It's no good to me where one of the coolant lines run into it. But luckily I have this whole assembly from the other engine. There it is. It runs from one end to the other. And it transfers coolant from one head to the other and back through the system. So, kind of weird. Kind of a different design from what we're used to on our, Chevy, Ford, Dodges. But they all kind of have their own way of doing things. Definitely took some getting used to getting us out of here. Definitely was different. It's a little more complex, but it wasn't all that bad in my opinion. It's definitely, if you kind of wrench as a hobby or you do it as a job, I mean, it probably won't be too bad for you. But if you have like zero mechanical experience, I wouldn't recommend doing it. You could break a lot of stuff, but I just did this as a project vehicle, and I believe that it's worthy enough to be restored and back on the road again. The original engine failed from lack of maintenance, so this is the oil pan out of the old engine. And as you can see, very, very sludgy, and there's actual chunks of piston in here from when the other one grenaded. And there's more piston in here, which is bad, really bad. I can't get it out. You can see chunks of piston. So, yeah, again, excuse me for the mess. I'm not perfect. I'm human. This is just what I have to work with. We're dealing with winter time and whatnot, so everything just kind of got thrown around. I got to clean it up, but otherwise, yeah, this is the engine, and this is the Porche Cayenne. If anybody has one of these, if you're curious, I can get more in depth with taking it out, or if you have any questions. This is actually my wife's account. I don't really do TikTok or anything like that, but I'm sure if y'all have questions, she'll get a hold of me, and then I'll answer them for you. But however, this is what it is. So I'm gonna wrap it up for the day, call it a day. I think this is a good stopping point, thanks to my wife for helping me on this project. We got the transmission back on the engine, and it's bolted together, so they're both now mated together, which is good. That was a big hurdle there, so now it should be fairly easy going, getting everything bolted back together and getting it back in the vehicle. So thank you guys for watching. I know this wasn't a very long video, but I'm kind of on a time limit today, so I do apologize for that. So anyway, I'm going to hand you back over to the camera wife. That's her new title, camera wife. And I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this up today, so y'all have a good day, and be safe out there. Thank you.
And there's Twitchy. Little kitty. And then here's Elise. Say hi, Elise. Hi, puppers. Hi. Say hi to everyone. And then there's baby kitty up there.